Hello everybody, welcome back to Kai Talks NFL, and today I'm going to be giving you my Week 3 NFL reactions. A lot of crazy games happened this week, a lot of upsets, a lot of games that came down to the final minute. It'll be a fun one to talk about. Anyways, let's get right into it.
Oh my goodness!
Daylight hurdles to the end zone!
That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen.
It is. Oh, he caught it off the ricochet. Penalty. Is he in?
To start off today's video, we have Thursday Night Football, the Bills and the Dolphins, where Tua choked the game away. And I made a TikTok about this in a YouTube short, saying how he is maybe the worst clutch quarterback I've ever seen, and I think a lot of you guys would agree with me on that. Looking at the actual stat sheet, though, 22 for 34, 146, 2 touchdowns. He wasn't looking bad before that final drive, and then when the final drive came around, he threw a blatant interception that was awful. He did the same thing last week, by the way. But yeah, I already talked enough about Tua through the YouTube short in this video, so I'm done with him. But looking at the rushing, Devon Achane, 12 carries, 62. Ollie Gordon also got a touchdown. I liked what I saw out of him. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle both got touchdowns. Tyreek Hill, I think he seemed visibly upset on the sideline. He was like this again. Just free the man. Get him out of there. Send him to KC or wherever he wants to go, you know, just so he stops complaining. He's kind of a diva, in my opinion. On the defensive side of things, Bradley Chubb continuing his sack streak, and Tyrell Dodson had 11 tackles on the day. And the Dolphins defense just is not good at all, especially the run defense. It is awful. Looking at the Bills now, Josh Allen had a pretty good day, 22 for 28, 213, and 3 touchdowns. And James Cook just absolutely obliterated, took advantage of the Miami Dolphins' weak rushing defense, and had 19 carries, 108, and a touchdown. He was so explosive all game, man. Dalton Kincaid kind of getting a little bit active with 5 receptions, 66, and a touchdown. Khalil Shakir also got a touchdown. And Jackson Hawes, I believe the second string tight end, or maybe the third string tight end even for the Bills, also got a touchdown. And Terrell Bernard got the final game sealing interception. 3 simple takeaways from this game. 1, free Tyreek Hill. Number 2, Tua is a choke artist. Number 3, James Cook took advantage of this weak run defense, and the Dolphins' run defense is awful. Well, Dolphins, I pray for you in the upcoming weeks. Bengals, you have some explaining to do. Jake Browning might actually be the worst quarterback I've ever seen throw a football. I'm not even joking. So let's just take a look at it. Jake Browning, 19 for 27, 141 touchdown, and 2 interceptions, one of them being a pick 6. And also, I believe he fumbled the ball, which also turned into a touchdown. I mean, he just did not look good. They should go get Kirko Chains, in my opinion. Chase Browning, what happened? 10 carries, 3 yards? Yikes. And the receiving game was obviously quiet because Jake Browning just couldn't move the ball. He just was not good at all. Drew Sample got a touchdown, though. And on the defensive side of things, Geno Stone got 1.5 sacks. And yeah, that's really all the highlight from the Bengals. They were awful. Carson Wentz, 14 for 21, 73, and 2 touchdowns. Jordan Mason, my guy, I miss him so much. 16 carries, 116, and 2 touchdowns. And Aaron Jones is out for a couple of games. So Jordan Mason really took over in that running back 1 role. JJ led the team. TJ Hawkinson got a touchdown. Josh Oliver got a touchdown. Looking at the defensive side of things, we gotta talk about Isaiah Rodgers. I mean, he had 1 pick 6, but that's not the only touchdown he got today. He had a forced fumble that turned into a touchdown. He also had another forced fumble. That one didn't turn into a touchdown, but dude, he had 2 touchdowns on the day. I mean, just what a performance. That's really, really hard to do by anybody, even the top people in the game. Josh Metellus also got an interception, and this whole game was just dominant. The defense was dominant all around. The forced fumbles, the interceptions, hell, the touchdowns. For the Vikings, it was Jordan Mason in the defense. That's what made them so good. And Jake Browning also just sucking, that too. Are the Texans just bad? I think that's a question we should start asking ourselves, genuinely. I mean, guys, you're 0-3. What are you guys doing? Let's just look at CJ Stroud, kind of looking like Tua Tagovailoa, 25 for 38, 204, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Both were not good, by the way. Nick Chubb, not a lot going on there. Nico Collins had a good day. I mean, 8 receptions, 104, and a touchdown. Hell, Jalen Petrie even got an interception. Will Anderson also got a sack. Takeaways, CJ Stroud just doesn't look good. Not at all on the Texans. And if CJ Stroud doesn't look good and you can't close out games, how are you guys going to win? You can't. You had the game in your hands and you threw it away with a dumb interception. And the Jaguars didn't really look good at all, but they somehow got the win. Trevor Lawrence, 50% on the day, 222 and 1 interception, no passing touchdowns. Tootin making his presence known as the running back 2, possibly a running back 1 soon, but 6 carries, 21 and a touchdown. And Travis Etienne also got a touchdown. Okay, outside of 1 reception BTJ had, he has been so quiet this year, like seriously. When will he get active? When will we see the BTJ of last year? Brenton Strange led the team receiving though, and Travis Hunter only had 1 reception. I'm starting to think he's kind of just mid on both sides of the ball. I'd like to see more out of him. Where's the impact on both sides we were expecting to see? And an interception by Jordan Lewis and Antonio Johnson. I mean, damn, the Jaguars should have not won this game, but they pulled a Tua Tagovailoa, or CJ Stroud pulled a Tua Tagovailoa. Indiana Jones continues to surprise me each and every single week because they just beat the Tennessee Titans 41-20. I mean, dude, 18 for 25, 228, and a touchdown. He looked good, I'm not gonna lie. Like, he's looking the best I've ever seen him look. And Jonathan Taylor just continuing to prove why he's a top 5 running back in the NFL. 17 carries, 102, and 3 touchdowns. Did you guys see that run he had? Literally nobody could tackle him. He's insane, man. Michael Pittman led the team once again, 6 receptions, 73, and a touchdown. And Alec Pierce, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of him. He's kind of a deep threat over there. And the Colts secondary continuing to prove my point of why they are so good, because they got a pick 6 on one of the first drives of the game. Kenny Moore, by the way. I mean, props to the Colts, man. They're looking really, really good right now. Cam Ward, 23 for 38, 219, a touchdown, and a pick 6 on the day. Tony P, 16 carries, 45, 1 touchdown, still kind of getting shut down. And the receiving game kind of just got strapped up. Chigazina Okonkwo, 5 receptions, 66 though. And this guy that I'm going to butcher had a touchdown. On the defense, virtually nothing happened because Danny Jones, aka Indiana Jones, fried them. Props to the Colts, man. That's all I gotta say. Marcus Mariota and the Washington Commanders beating the Las Vegas Raiders 41-24. Gino, I think this stat line makes it look better than he was. He wasn't all that great. Honestly, I think it was Trey Tucker that was the man, and we'll go over that in a minute. Ashton Jeanty continuing to disappoint me. 17 carries, 63 yards as a fantasy user. I am not happy. And Trey Tucker, holy hell, man, making himself the wide receiver 1 over there. 8 receptions, 145 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That's like a Monroe St. Brown type performance. Max Crosby got a sack, and that was about it. There's not much to highlight there. Looking at the Commander side of things now, 15 for 21, 207, 1 touchdown for Marcus Mariota. Jerry McNicholas led the team in rushing, 4 carries, 78, and a touchdown. Marcus Mariota also got a touchdown. Ja'Cory Crosby-Merritt was pretty contained though, but he also did get a touchdown. Luke McCaffrey got a touchdown. I like to see that, but Terry McLaurin almost got a touchdown, but it was called 1 yard short. A guy that could be my grandpa, Bobby Wagner, had 2 sacks on the day, and in total I believe they got 5 sacks on the day. Oh yeah, and by the way, the Commanders kick returner also got a 90-yard touchdown, and Matt Gay also kicked 11 points. Raiders, your defense has just got to be better, and I think Gino overall has got to be better. At least earlier in the game. You know, he kind of turned it on later in the game, but he's got to play like that the whole game. Anyways, Commanders get the win and go to 2-1. The Los Angeles Rams. I mean, guys, how do you choke this one away? You were up 26-7, I believe. And then the Philadelphia Eagles came back and scored 33 points. Starting off with Stafford, 19 for 33, 196, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Kyren Williams, 20 carries, 94 yards. Puka Nacua being the primary target this game, 11 receptions, 112. Devontae got a touchdown, and so did Kyren for receiving. On the defensive side of things, they got to Jalen Hurts 4 times. They did well. Their kicker also scored 14 points, but they just choked it away at the end. There's no better way to say it. Eagles, though, Hurts 21 for 32, 226, 3 touchdowns. Hurts also having a rushing touchdown. They also contained Saquon pretty well. Receiving getting a lot more involved, which I like to see, especially because it really hasn't been the past 2 weeks. So AJ Brown having a huge day, 6 receptions, 109, and a touchdown. Devontae Smith got a touchdown, and so did Dallas Goedert. At the end of the game, I believe the field goal was blocked, and Jordan Davis went in and scored a touchdown to close out the game. Falcons fans should start protesting for Kirk Cousins right now. Oh my god. Looking at Michael Penix, 18 for 36, 172, and 2 awful interceptions. Like, he did not look good at all. If Jake Browning didn't exist, he would be the stinker of the week. And one of them was a pick 6 too, by the way. Bijan, 13 carries, 72. Receiving didn't really get involved. Drake London, 5 receptions, 55. The defense allowed 30 points, so obviously they didn't really do anything. And the team scored a total of 0 points on the day. Just an awful performance by the offense, specifically Michael Penix. Bryce now 16 for 24, 121, no touchdowns, no picks. Chuba Hubbard had 17 carries, 73. Rico Dowdle got a touchdown, and so did Bryce Young. Receiving, not a lot going on there. Tedoroa McMillan leading the team once again. Mike Jackson got the pick 6, and Charles Smith-Wade, sorry if I mispronounced that, also got an interception. I mean, it was just dominance on offense and defense by the Panthers. And the Falcons, y'all gotta fix some things, specifically with the quarterback position. Hell, it may be just 1 week, give him a couple more weeks, but he did not look good this game. Next, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the New England Patriots 21-14. Rodgers, 16 for 23, 139, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Jaylen Warren, I mean, he's not looking very good. 18 carries, 47. Kenneth Gainwell also got a touchdown. Receiving, I mean, there was some touchdowns there. DK Metcalf, though, pretty contained, but he did get a touchdown, and so did Calvin Austin. Brandon Eckles got an interception. Patrick Queen led the team in tackles. Cam Hayward had a sack, and TJ Watt also had 2. So did Derek Harmon. It looks like they were getting to May a pretty good amount this game. May now 28 for 37, 268, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Also did have a fumble. Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson. This running back room just might not be it, man. I mean, they're just not being productive. And I think Stevenson had 2 fumbles too. It's not looking good. Hunter Henry basically carried the team this game. 8 receptions, 90 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I think this receiving room is just going to be different every week. It's really sporadic. Looking at the defense for the Patriots, Robert Spillane had 10 tackles and an interception, but it looks like they didn't get to Rodgers 1 time. Just a low-scoring day for both teams. Green Bay, what happened? You guys lose to the Cleveland Browns? I could be wrong, but I think I actually locked this game, and I had this game being a blowout. I was absolutely wrong, and I think probably the whole world was. Looking at Jordan Love, 18 for 25, 183, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Josh Jacobs had 16 carries, 30 yards, pretty contained there. Receiving game was also pretty weak. John Fitzpatrick had the touchdown on the day. Isaiah McDuffie had an interception, but other than that, Rashawn Gary had 2 sacks. I mean, they held the Cleveland Browns offense pretty well. It's just the Green Bay Packers offense was not there at all. Looking at the Browns now, Joe Flacco, 21 for 36, 142, and 1 interception. Quinshon Judkins, 18 carries, 94, 1 touchdown. They finally have their running back 1 in Cleveland. Receiving game also pretty weak. Grant Delpit got the interception on Jordan Love. Malik Collins got a sack and a half. Myles Garrett got half a sack. A name I can't pronounce also got a sack. And the special teams played well because the kicker got 7 points. And this game was just dominant by the Browns defense and not so much by the Green Bay Packers offense. Number 1, I am shocked that the Green Bay Packers only scored 10 points. Number 2, that they lost to the Cleveland Browns. Like, what world are we living in? Anyways, Cleveland, you walked out with this one. Buccaneers almost lost to the New York Jets, 29-27. Tampa Bay did win, though. Looking at Tyrod Taylor, Justin Fields was injured, so 26 for 36, 197, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Breece Hall, not looking great, not at all. Garrett Wilson led the team, 10 receptions, 84, and a touchdown. Allen Lazard also got a touchdown. Looking at the defense, I think they only got to Baker once, no interceptions. I mean, yeah, you guys played really well at the end. I think if you guys played like that the whole game, you probably would have won. Looking at the Bucks, Baker Mayfield, 19 for 29, 233, 1 touchdown, and 0 interceptions. Bucky, 25 carries, 66. Wish I saw a little more out of him. That's speaking from a fantasy user. Emeka Egbuka had an amazing one-handed catch also led the team once again with 6 receptions, 85. Mike Evans also got a touchdown, but he did leave early with an injury. I'm not sure about that. On the defensive side of things, they got to Tyrod about 4 times. Jamel Dean also intercepted him. And yeah, I just forgot to mention the Jets special teams played really well. They had a block thing, and then Will McDonald ran it in for a touchdown. But the Buccaneers squeaked by the New York Jets. Next, we got the Chargers beating the Broncos by a walk-off field goal. Knicks had 14 for 25, 153, and a touchdown. J.K. Dobbins continuing to prove why he's one of the most underrated running backs in the league, having 11 carries, 83, and a touchdown. Courtland Sutton had a pretty huge day, 6 receptions, 118, and a touchdown. They got to Herbert 5 times, and Brandon Jones also got an interception. It just doesn't look like they scored as much as they probably wanted to, because the defense played pretty decent. Herbert, 28 for 47, 300, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Amarian Hampton, I believe this is his first touchdown as a rookie, 19 carries, 70 yards, and a touchdown. Quentin Johnson continuing to prove to me that he's actually a good wide receiver in the National Football League. I think he forgot how to play football for a little bit. He's all there now. Keenan Allen continuing to prove why the Justin Herbert-Keenan Allen connection has never left, with 7 for 65 and a touchdown. Derwin James got a sack, also had 10 tackles, and Dicker, the kicker, also got the walk-off field goal. But yeah, the Los Angeles Chargers advanced to 3-0. I mean, this is just an absolute ass whooping. What can I say? 44-13, the Seattle Seahawks won. Looking at Rattler, 28 for 39, 218, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Alvin Kamara, 18 carries, 42, pretty contained. Receiving, as you can imagine, pretty much did nothing. Jack Stoll got a touchdown. And defense, I mean, they were terrible. They allowed 44 points. Sam Darnold went 14 for 18, 218, 2 touchdowns, had a pretty good day. It even got to the point where Drew Lock came in. Kenneth Walker, 16 carries, 38. Not very great, but don't forget he had 2 touchdowns. And JSN just being JSN and having a great day. 5 receptions, 96, and a touchdown. Torrey Horton also had a touchdown on the day. Cooper Kupp, I don't know, man. I think he's going to fall in the depth chart a little bit. He's not doing a lot. Darion Kendrick got the interception for Seattle, and the offense was just dominant, and the Saints defense just was not. Well, this game was a blowout. Next, we got the Arizona Cardinals versus the San Francisco Hospital. Kyler, 22 for 35, 159, 1 touchdown. James Conner had an awful injury, one of the worst injuries I've ever seen, but Trey Benson led the team. Marv kind of had some drop issues this game, 3 receptions, 44. Trey McBride also got a touchdown. On the defense, there was 1 interception. There was 1 sack by Josh Sweat. Looking at the 49ers now, Mac Jones, 27 for 41, 284, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Didn't look amazing, but he definitely pulled it together on that final drive. CMC, though, pretty contained, 17 carries, 52. Ricky Pearsall leading the team, proving that he is the wide receiver 1 in San Francisco with 8 receptions, 117. Kyle Juszczyk also got a touchdown. Fred Warner led the team in tackles along with D. Winters. This is the duo in San Francisco this year. Nick Bosa also had a little injury during the game. And Eddie Pinheiro had 10 of our points. This game was a snooze fest and everybody was getting injured left and right. That's why I said the San Francisco Hospital, because it's literally what it is. But we got out of there alive, and I think Brock will be back next week, so things will look a lot better. Anyways, GG's Cardinals, and as a 49ers fan, I mean, you know, it wasn't the prettiest win, but we got it done. Next, we got the Chicago Bears surprisingly beating the Dallas Cowboys. This is the best I've seen the Chicago Bears offense look, honestly. Dak Prescott went 31 for 40, 251, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and Joe Milton doing Joe Milton things and throwing an interception with only 5 attempts. He sucks, man. There's no other way to say it. Javonte Williams, 10 carries, 76. He's not all that bad. I thought he was going to be really bad, but he's not all that bad. Ferguson had him in fantasy, 13 receptions, 82. Pickens also got a touchdown, and CD, if you're wondering why he's not on here, he left the game early with an injury. Sucks for me, honestly. And the defense allowed 31 points to the Bears, so obviously not great. And Brandon Aubrey got 6 of their points. Looking at the Bears, Caleb had a pretty damn good day, 19 for 28, 298, and 4 passing touchdowns. DeAndre Swift, 13 carries, 33. Luther Burden leading the team, 3 receptions, only 3 receptions, by the way, with 101 and a touchdown. Rome Odunze, 3 receptions, 62, and a touchdown. DJ Moore got a touchdown. Hell, Cole Kmet even got a touchdown. DJ Moore is just okay, though. I know he got a touchdown, but I don't think he's the clear wide receiver 1 in Chicago anymore. Definitely not. Tremaine Edmonds got 2 interceptions, and Kevin Byard got 1. And and they held the Cowboys to 14 points. Chicago, your offense has looked better. It looked a little bit like the Ben Johnson plays were kind of getting mixed in there, some of the crazy plays that they did in Detroit, and it looked good. It looked fluent. It looks the best I've ever seen it look. Cowboys, I mean, your defense just didn't look good at all. And Dak didn't look amazing either. Well, Chicago, happy to see you guys get a win. And finally, we have the Kansas City Chiefs beating the New York Giants to get their first win of the season. Mahomes, 22 for 37, 224, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Pacheco, 10 carries, 45, and they were basically splitting reps because Kareem Hunt also had 10 carries and a touchdown. Tyquan Thornton led the team. That's how you know the receiving core is pretty weak over there right now. Although I'm not going to not acknowledge that he got 5 receptions, 71, and a touchdown. Travis Kelce just still not making a lot of impact right now. And there are 2 interceptions on the day, one by Jalen Watson and Christian Rollin Wallace. The best way to put it is Kansas City, you guys didn't look good. You guys didn't look like the team of last year. Not at all. I mean, you guys basically squeaked by the Giants. I know by the score you guys won, but like you guys kept it close in a game that you probably should have whipped their ass. And it seems like the team isn't all there right now. Things are going more wrong than they used to. For example, Travis Kelce yelling at Andy Reid on the sideline. Like, don't do that to your head coach. That's like the second time you've done that now. Everything just seems a little off for Kansas City, doesn't it? Anyways, looking at Russ, 18 for 32, 160, and 2 interceptions. This guy's decision making was awful all night, man. He reminded me of Geno Smith the other week. Like I said, I think it was a 1-week thing. I don't think he's gonna cook from here on out. Cam Scatterbo, you love to see it. 10 carries, 60 yards, and a touchdown. And he also led the team in receiving, too. Great day for the guy, and I've been saying he's a powerhouse. I love this man. Malik Neighbors did virtually nothing this game, although Russell Wilson kept targeting him. They were just bad throws. And on the defense, they did pretty much nothing. Well, KC barely gets their first win of the season. And that is also it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, let me know down below. And as always, I will see you all in the next one.